Love and faith are a team, while fear and evil are a team. Each one is going to go head on with the other, but in every encounter, love and faith will always win. Welcome back to Along the Spiritual Journey. So, the thing that I want people to remember when it comes to duality is everything is going to have its starting point. There's love and there's fear. I do not pair love and evil together because they don't go together. They're not one and the same. The most genuine, authentic essence of duality to love would be fear. The polarization of fear would be hate, right? Just like the polarization of love would be faith. Why? Because it requires you to be in a place to step outside of self, to walk into love. And love will always look like fear, even if you don't realize that because they're mixed together. And so the blurry lines is about knowing how to see which direction you're actually supposed to go. So the universe puts you in a bag, shakes you all around, and then you come out into this room that's blurry, full of love and fear, because that's an animal, that's a baby. You came into this world of love and fear, that's who you are. And depending on what you are given and what you are conditioned is what you're going to become. So if you are born and everything in your life is just now produced through fear, now you are a fearful baby who's going to be a fearful child, who's going to be a fearful adult, and you're going to start to have resentment and hate things, right? Versus if you're a baby who, if you're lucky enough, you're born into love and you get love. And no matter the environment, no matter how poor or bad the conditions, as long as there's a loving energy that supports you, you're going to be a loving child, a loving adult, and a loving person. It's just how it works. And so when we understand that that's how energy works, at any point in time in our life, we get to choose which one we sit on and which side we want to interact with. I know it doesn't seem that way, but when you stop and think about it, when you are someone who is really fearful and everything seems to always go wrong and it really sucks, everything does go wrong, and everything happens to you, like literally everything does happen to you. There's just some people where they're good people and stuff just happens to them, but because they were born in fear, fear likes them, fear sticks to them, fear clings to them until they meet another person who is pure love. And all you need is one drop of love, one drop, a kind gesture, a kind word, a kind whatever, and that person who was born in fear is like washed away. All that fear is mud. It just gets flushed off and is washed away. And then they get to see themselves for the first time. That's that spiritual awakening. They're like, oh my gosh, I see me. I love me. I understand. There's other energies out there like me. I was just sitting in the environment of fear. I wasn't taking myself out of stagnicity. Sometimes relocation's necessary. Sometimes cutting people off is necessary. I'm not saying it's always the answer, but sometimes it's necessary if you want to gain back autonomy and sovereignty to see that love is always going to give if you have faith. Love is one of those energies that if you don't have faith in it, it's not going to happen. I know. It sounds so annoying and it sounds so messed up, but it's just energy like everyone else. But if you retain the energy of love, like energy likes like energy. So even if you're in the trenches, if you have love in you, love will find you. That's what miracles are. When people are like, I was down there, fell in a hole, and something pulled me out. Because you had love in you. Love finds you. Unfortunately, if you have bitterness in you and you are a bitter person, if the time comes, love can't find you because you're not resonating the energy of love. Again, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just telling you how energy works. And most humans don't like that energy means you have to learn how to maintain it when you become an adult. When you're a child, your parents maintain it. They make you feel a certain way. Your teachers make you feel a certain way. Everything around you makes you feel a certain way until you learn how to become a human manifester, which is building and creating through, your funds, your job, your life. And then when you have your sense of home and family, that's where the emotional part comes in. You start building the type of emotional home you want, the type of energy you want to walk into, the type of family you want. That's where you start understanding what love and faith are, because then you understand that as long as I have love and faith in self, and I support this journey without trying to fall into what we call distortion, then even if the world is giving me something that I don't want to handle, I'll still see the light, right? Versus if you're only bred in fear, you only know fear, so you literally start to hate things because you're like, well, everything around me sucks. Everyone says everything around me sucks. Everyone keeps proving that everything around me sucks. So I hate everything. I hate everyone, and I don't want to interact with them. And then you go home, and yeah, your home is beautiful and nice, but you're still in your home being hateful. Ugh, they suck. My house is better. They're not good. Da, 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 da. And no matter how much this person gains, they're still bitter. And you start seeing it on their face and body, like, ooh, why are you aging? Why, what's going on? And they're over here, oh, I have this thing I bought and this thing I own, and they're not loving on themselves. Versus someone's like, yeah, I worked really hard and I got here because I just appreciate it. I have so much gratitude for what I have and don't have. And that person's just looking young and fit. It doesn't matter if they have wrinkles or not. It's an energy. They just feel young, right? That's where you start learning what love is and what fear is. They are intertwined. Faith is learned. Hate is learned. That's why they're at the polarized ends, because you have to learn how to be those things, right? You have to learn how to be in faith to the point that it's a discipline and it's tiresome and you don't want to do it anymore. And you're like, what's the benefit? It's not about the human benefit. It's about the soul benefit. That's the point of love. It's always about the spiritual end. If you fear things enough and you start to hate things enough, then it becomes about what's the benefit? Where is it going to benefit me? What do I get out of it? And if I get nothing out of it, F everyone else. That's where that energy starts to perpetuate that mindset of good guys lose and bad guys win. No, it's energy. If you dwell within the energy of a good guy or trying to be the best version of yourself, you're going to have good days and bad days. You're still going to interact with people who suck, right? That's not going to go away. It's your choice if you intertwine with them and mix your energy. And now it's all diluted and murky because you chose to mix with someone who was not ready, right? Same thing for fear. You can be in fear and try to get yourself out and be in hate, and you're pushed in and you find the most loving people want to love on you. That means that you are a good person and they can see that you want to heal, but you don't know how yet. Again, not their job. If you know that you're not healed yet, don't come over here and start murking it all up. Know that you have to walk through that fear, allow that hate to disintegrate, and become the love that you need. If again you are in the love spectrum, allow yourself to continue to heal without having expectations. And if the expectation doesn't meet your criteria, know that you're taken care of and you're protected because you are in the energy of love. That's where the faith comes in. Each part of that existence, you are still having the hard knock life of being a human. You're gonna have accidents, you're gonna have stuff happen. Things ain't gonna always work out on this third plane. But in the fourth plane and the fifth plane and so forth, if you can see the bigger vision and step outside of ego and know that it's not about you in this moment, even if it's happening to you and you do it in grace, then the universe bestows upon you that balance of, I no longer fear, I love. And you will always be in the middle of fear and love. Remember, I can love talking to people. I still have a fear of walking on a big stage in an auditorium. Doesn't mean that I'm going to allow myself to fall apart. It just means that it makes me nervous. And I'm okay being in that space of being nervous and fearful of something I haven't done, but I will still love the opportunity, right? Now, if I got up on stage and I just walked away hating it and I made myself feel bad about it, then yeah, I can see how I would live in fear longer than necessary versus having faith in myself and saying, you know what, I'm going to try. And if I don't do the best, that's okay. I did it. And that was exhilarating. And that's what builds momentum. So again, learn your balance. It's in both of us. Each of us has both halves of everything. No one is one over the other. But you can choose to live in a predominantly light world versus dark world. That is a choice. I know people don't want to believe that, but you can be the light and darkness until you can go to the light side, or you can be the darkness and light until you want to go to the dark side. That's up to you, because there are some light workers who need to be in the dark, and there's some light workers who need to be in the dark, because each half will always have energies that reside there that have never had the experience of seeing either side. All right? I love you. I hope that makes sense.